So when I say the curriculum has to be completely revamped, this is as far as language curriculum is concerned. When you move to the other curricula, these are the kind of changes that should take place. I just showed an example. Now you get all the serials adapting to the language of the region. Okay, you have almost all the channels have dubbed versions. It doesn't take very long to adapt this also into the regional language. So when you teach Indian literature, this will be the package. You will have Kalidasa, he will get entry, not because it is written in Sanskrit language, because it has a universal message. It will have both orthodox and heterodox texts. Stories from Panchatantra, you will not dismiss them as the stories of lies. You have Kada Sarit Sagra, Buddhist, Jain, Bhakti movement, the beautiful verses of Meera, Kabir, all will have emotion. Finally, you will come to the literary theories, concepts, modernism and postmodernism. This is an area which merges the disciplines, which breaks the boundaries. You talk about postmodernism, you bring in psychology, you bring in sociology, you bring in economics too. And then you say that the power of authority is gone. Culture is completely democratized. If this is the package for the language, you come back to the question of modernity. The loss of cultural values and the huge diasporic population that has gone out of the country, and their voices to be heard, and they come up with some idea of hybrid cultures. But I have told you of my belief and conviction that in whatever way you expand the understanding of cultures, finally you have to come back to your own roots. Having firmly rooted your own culture, irrespective of the distance you travel, you will be firmly rooted, and this getting firmly rooted in roots will help you overcome the other difficulties also. There are many aspects which come into it. You have politics, when you find ways and means to understand religion. Applying the same yardsticks, you will also understand politics, race, class, gender, subjugation, domination, exclusion. All these will not be taught in your core subjects classes. All these will be in the hands of language teachers. They will not be just language teachers. There will not be English department and language department. There will be a total merger of these departments, and that department will be called the Department of Cultural Studies. They will be concerned with all these crucial issues, because in the core subject classes you have about 50% of your preparation. The other 50% will and should come from these cultural studies classes. When you study culture, any culture for that matter, you have to study all the components of that culture. You have popular culture, you have popular Indian cinema, you have modernity, you have internet, TV, social, everything. Nothing has to be dismissed. Everything has a place. If it has come to stay, you cannot close your eyes saying that my children, my son, my daughter are not influenced by this force, that force. And I myself am not spending so much of time on that. I have not let those forces influence and all that. No. You have to understand the reality. You have to put that in proper perspective, having created a strong base for your root and culture, and then understand these phenomena from that perspective, make others also understand. This will be the job of language classes. So the need to have proper orientation stems from the fact that the world out there is not very healthy. Blind aping of Western culture will result in this. It is already happening. It has not reached an alarming stage, but there is every possibility. There is a fundamental difference between Western epistemology and Indian epistemology that has to be understood. This is a country where neem leaves are not just neem leaves. A monkey is not just a monkey. A crow is not a crow. You see the whole lot of your ancestry in the form of a crow. The crow comes in front of your house, makes a noise. It's a message. You have taken 20 years, 30 years, 40 years behind your life. An elephant may be a huge thing, but elephant god is the beginning of all auspicious occasions. Well, if this is so, to what extent can you apply your rationality? To what extent you apply myths into your lives? Will you dismiss it altogether? Will you embrace it altogether? Will you take it with a critical outlook? So these complexities, these confusions are there throughout your life. How to extract the most positive outcome from these the objects, concepts, is the challenge which you will face and which you will make others also face and find a solution. So having said all this, I need not tell you about this. One major casualty of this modernity is our alienating ourselves from the folk tradition, oral tradition. When you lose touch with your oral tradition, you lose touch with your native music, your native aesthetics, your collective viewing. Actually, a lecture on culture and civilization should happen during night time, because in India, aesthetic is collective. You, after a hard day's work, you assemble in a courtyard of a rich man or in the courtyard of a temple. There is a cultural performance. It may be Burrakada, it may be Kathakali, it may be Yachagana, it may be Terikuthu, it may be Udukadi Pattu, all these across the country, right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Gujarat to Manipur. This is how our civilization, our culture has been built, and it still has the power. It is a tragedy that this power is not understood by the contemporary society. I'll just give one example, one glimpse of this. Have you ever listened to this kind of performance before? Either in films or in theatre? Are they as popular as our popular films? That's it. This is one extreme. There's also another extreme. When we focus on folk culture, doesn't mean we dismiss classic culture. Classic culture is equally powerful. Indian history, Indian tradition have all along been a mixture of these two. But unfortunately, because of colonial intervention or because of the powers of authority, these got detached. One is completely sidelined. So it's our duty to bring back this to the same situation, that both have equal space in culture. So if this could be the package for cultural studies, I have stopped calling it as language class, cultural studies. This will be the package. This has excluded the electronic possibilities. But you might have got some idea about the scope for the electronic inclusion of these electronic elements. Tradition, modernity, still our tradition has certain strong elements. So now I would like to mention the kind of cultural symbols, refined cultural symbols, which the popular, the mainstream Indian society forgot to take note of, in the sense they have not become popular. There are films of Ritik Katak, Satish Chitri from Bengal, Adur Gopalakrishnan Arvindan from Kerala, Shyam Benegal from the northern states, Girish Kasarvalli from Karnataka. Painting has to be included in the curriculum. We have a Cholamandal, K.C.S. Panikkar was there, the Tantric style of printing. There is a Bengal school, there is a Baroda school. And then in theatre also, there is a good blend of both traditional and modern theatre. And these are taught in many of the institutions. And then all these ideas have come from people like G.N. Devi, U.R. Ananthamurthy, and a horde of other cultural critics. The thing is, as I have mentioned earlier, if there is no scope for cultural critics, these things will not be brought to the notice of many people of the public. India's pluralistic culture, if it is understood in the proper way, will have all these elements. This is I have already mentioned. So we have the LPG children. LPG is like liquid petroleum gas, globalization, privatization, and globalization. We have a good number of organizations at the government level. We need to make use of these organizations. And then the scope for electronic revival is proved by the fact that in 80s, all these were very popular. Those of you who are in 40s, will definitely understand. Hum Log, Bunyad, Tamas, and finally Ramayana. But Ramayana of a different variety. The real Ramayana was shown by a director from Kerala, G. Arvindan. That's called Kanchan Sida. Those who are from Kerala will know. It is made of a play by Srikanta Nayar, in which Ramayana characters are drawn from the tribal groups from Andhra Pradesh, an area in Andhra Pradesh. It looks at Ramayana from the feminist point of view. When Rama sends Sita, Rama has done enough injustice, enough injustice. But our reality is that if you prescribe a book, multiple Ramayanas, many Ramayanas, if there is one chapter which is a threat to a popular understanding, a very unscientific understanding of the epic, that book is removed from the syllabus overnight. See, mind you, I am not taking sides. The thing is, our duty is to provide enough opportunities to the students to look at the truth from different perspectives, because truth is relative. Truth is never absolute. So cultural values are also not absolute, just like religious values. Asghar Ali engineers, having fought the fundamentalist elements from both sides, had made this statement, have helped us to understand religion. The same way, the other aspects of culture also be understood. If you ask me whether the fear of inciting the religious sentiments which might lead to violence, we have no answer. Again, your identity itself is your threat. Though we offer these education services to all those people, we are also branded as an institution belonging to one religion. There are many sensitive issues like this, but fearing these consequences, if we shy away from even mentioning these, aren't we doing injustice? To achieve this, we have to come back to expand the number of universities. There's a home university, there's a street university. These universities have disappeared. Home university is the place where you have a dialogue, discourse with all the family members, not necessarily with parents. Children have become co-learners and co-teachers in the home university, just like they have become co-learners and co-teachers in the real university, academic university. So, we need not be worried about losing our identity as the absolute authority inside the classroom. Let us consider ourselves as the co-learners and co-teachers, and then learn from them, listen to them. Definitely we will have something to learn from them. If that is so, we will also tell them, do not fix your earphones, you just watch. You might live in 21st century, but we still have too many people living in 18th century and 17th century. You will float in luxury, but there are people who are slogging for 12 hours a day, right from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening. So this state university will teach them. When they evolve economic concepts, they will keep that in mind. Organization. हम लोग I mentioned Nukkad, Bunyad, For 4 reasons they had become popular. Nukkad told us the story of the marginalized, which was not heard at the national level. Bunyad revived the memories of wounded history as a partition days. Ramayana is the electronic version of our popular epic. So these are the fundamental elements which lie underneath every personality of an Indian. Kanchana Sita I just mentioned. This is the Rama. The film Kanchana Sita by Aravindan. Let them understand Rama this way also. He belongs to a tribal group, it's a real character, he belongs to the tribal group. When we discuss these things inside a classroom, there are certain corporate initiatives. Narayana Murthy of Infosys has helped set up a chair in Harvard University of all the places. This chair will translate all the classical Indian literature into English. And Mahindra Humanities Center was set up by Mahindra Group. You can imagine the reason why these people have not set up chairs in Indian universities and what will happen if they set up chairs in Indian universities. Right? The Mahabharata you have watched, these are the characters, right? So what will be the roadmap? We need to create one Indian language materials production program. We need to bridge materials, baseline studies about existing teaching learning practices, state of language analytical reports. These were suggested by Tejaswini Niranjana. We need to establish a digital archive resources, digital hub for digitizing, aggregation, archiving, documentation. We do have certain existing sources, but they are in the hands of bureaucrats, not with much help. Of course, with the exception of 2. One is in Australia, the other is in Chicago. We need Inter-University Center for Indian language higher education, in higher education. We need to have annual Indian languages Mela. There are a good number of cultural programs which are totally new just across the state, for people from just across the state. We have experimented with one program called Bhasha Utsav. We have told the students, you just dress up the way you dress up during vacations in your family. And we also told the foreign students to come in their national dress. As a result, we had hundreds of cultures merging on one single day, ethnic day, which is also a cultural day. We were able to make students understand the variety of cultures that exist within the country and outside. Well, I can go on, but Mr. Kennedy will not allow me. I'll just show one clipping of Anantamurthy. You are Anantamurthy. This is an interview. When we talk about the e-content development, we certainly need to incorporate interviews like this.